Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl, Helena the Queen, with DJ Amber Alert, always by my side. What's happening?
What's the deal? It's your boy Rodney the Boss, multi-platinum and Grammy Award-winning producer of Lil Wayne on the Carter 3, Plies, Lil Boosie, Mr. Magic, Rocco. The list just goes on, you know what I'm saying? I'm rocking with my girl, Amber Alert, on the Takeover on the AATI network.
What up, man? It's your boy DJ Nothing Nice, WNRDB, Orlando, Florida. You know, the palm tree lifestyle, that's how we get down. Grammy member, engineer, producer, RIAA member, you know, just entrepreneur worldwide, you know, just rocking, doing what we do right here, you know what I'm saying, with your home girl, Gemini the Queen, on Amber Alert. You know, we're just doing what we do, you know what I'm saying? We're doing the...
Hey, it's Riff. You rocking with Gemini the Queen.
I've been waiting to see if anything's gonna happen with this. And maybe,
it causes some controversy in the way folks at home and folks on the show react to ALEC Baldwin. First of all, when we do it in the 9 o'clock hour with lawyers, let me tell you, my lawyer guests, they love ALEC Baldwin.
Right.
I mean, anytime we do the story with them, sometimes they question whether or not ALEC Baldwin should even be sued. Whether or not he's even liable.
Very liable.
For what happened here, in a civil sense. I'm talking about being sued for money, wrongful death, everything that goes along with that he's not responsible. There's no way my lawyer guests ever believe that he should be criminally charged for anything.
Why?
Then it's a whole different scenario when I talk to guests who aren't necessarily lawyers or just lawyers. Sometimes they're folks who are gun experts, actors I have spoken to, and all of them look at the situation a lot differently. Now, let me admit, I'm not a huge fan of ALEC Baldwin's. I have to lay that out there, right?
Man, shout out to
but
that.
That does not necessarily gauge the way I see a case. My viewpoint of this case is that ALEC Baldwin should not be treated differently because he's an actor.
Hey, man.
Whether that means going after him because he's an actor or letting him slide because he's an actor. To me, ALEC Baldwin is a man with a gun in his hand. Period.
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 Period. Say it again.
Those same lawyers who don't want ALEC Baldwin charged want just about every police officer charged when something goes wrong and they have a gun in their hand, whether they think it's a gun or they think it's a taser, etc. And I get it. And I don't want to be misunderstood in my analysis of where we are so far in this case. My analysis is that ALEC Baldwin should be treated the same as a police officer. ALEC Baldwin should be treated the same as a citizen. Anyone who has killed someone with a gun in their hand. The analysis
revolver
is the same.
Accidentally went off.
The absolute same. Yet, I always hear people saying, well, but he was an actor just doing his job. It's somebody else's responsibility.
What? Who said that?
Well, that doesn't mean they're not responsible. But there can be more than one person responsible.
No, we're going to play what he had to say.
There could be more than one person liable.
Because fuck.
At the end of the day, it was his hand that was holding the gun.
His hand,
and we know what happened. So that's all. I'm not saying that he should or shouldn't be charged at this point. The investigation is not over. It's been a really long investigation since October 21st of last year. We're coming upon a year now on this thing.
Stupid.
So I don't know what the text messages say. I don't know what the eyewitnesses have necessarily said. I've read statements and heard statements from the armorer, from ALEC Baldwin, and I still don't have a super clear picture of what exactly happened here and how it happened.
Vinny be putting on.
So let's see. We did get some additional information that was released from the FBI. Let's take a look at it. This is significant. This is an FBI report regarding the accidental discharge testing. When they tested the gun that ALEC Baldwin had in his hand, the hammer was at a 1/4 and 1/2 cock position, could not be made to fire without the pull of the trigger.
Talk about it.
When the hammer was at a full cock position, it could not be made to fire without a pull of the trigger.
Let's talk about it.
Now, this is important, making a lot of headlines
I never
because
pulled
of
the
what
trigger.
Alec
Pulled the
Baldwin
trigger.
said back in December. Alec Baldwin sat down for an
Not the
exclusive interview with
FBI.
Joe
That
Stephanopoulos
shit
at
is in
ABC News, where he
trouble.
said that he cocked the gun, let go of the hammer, and the gun went off. And he insisted he did not pull the trigger.
Oh, I don't have to play it. Yo,
And I cocked the
shout
gun.
out
Can you
to
see
Court
that?
TV.
Can you see that? Can you see that? And she says, and then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off.
Magic.
I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off. At the moment.
People don't steal people's guns,
Yeah, that was the
dude.
moment the gun went off.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger.
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them. Never.
Say what?
And that's where we are tonight. Right? This investigation isn't over, but that's Alec Baldwin's version of what happened that night. And now you've got the FBI testing the gun that he used. Well, let's get a little more clarity. Let's bring in our experts. Joining me in Woodlands, Texas, former senior special agent with the Drug Enforcement Administration and the founder and CEO of Global Security Group, David Katz, is with us, and in Salt Lake City, Utah, movie set expert, technical director, former Salt Lake City police officer, Rob Joseph. Great to see you both tonight.
I don't think I want to hear this.
Hey guys, let's start with the first, I guess, question here. Is the FBI tests this gun,
First
David?
question?
They take a look at it. They do all the appropriate tests, and they seem to come to the conclusion that you've got to pull the trigger for the gun to fire. But Alec Baldwin was very clear in what he said actually happened. What are your thoughts about his statement and the FBI and everything that you know in all your years of experience and training and teaching and everything else?
Oh my God, guns are
does
just
not go bang
pulling
unless the finger is on the
themselves.
trigger. At least not that particular gun. Are there other types of
What this
firearms
a bit?
with some
No.
catastrophic mechanical failure, like a striker-fired weapon that may end up sort of getting
How's
dropped or
this?
something?
How's this
Yes,
conversation?
that gun can only fire if the trigger is depressed.
Dude.
I actually I'm not the most familiar person with that particular weapon, so I had to research a little bit. There's no internal safety. In other words, there's no transfer bar or any other mechanism that would stop.
Nothing goes. Nothing fucking shoots a motherfucker by itself. Why are they playing with our intelligence?
Six votes.
Oops. Oops. My bad.
A new FBI report finds that the gun held by Alec Baldwin, which discharged and killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins on the set of Rust, had to have its trigger pulled in order to fire. According to an FBI forensic report obtained by ABC News, the revolver at the center of the case, when intact and functional, could not be made to fire without a pull of the trigger.
Are y'all
the hammer was
fucking
decocked on
stupid?
the loaded chamber and struck directly. In December, Baldwin claimed during an ABC News interview that he did not pull the trigger in the fatal shooting on October 21st. At the time, the actor was adamant that he would, quote, never point a gun at someone and pull the trigger on them.
I'm fucking mad as hell. First of all, because what kind of world, where do we live, y'all? On some serious ass shit. Where the fuck do we live now? Cause what? It's news that he said. Wait, no, it's news that he actually pulled the trigger and the gun didn't go off by itself. Are y'all fucking stupid? I'm mad as fuck. Hold the fuck. Are you? Oh. It's called the Illuminati. Starting in 1776, before the United States of America was free and got the 4th of July. Check into it, bitch. Check into it.
Okay, so not too many.
God damn, this shit is pissing me the fuck off.
Do you think that any part of this incident that occurred was intentional?
Well, I can only say this, which is and it was to me, to place a bullet and position a bullet that is a live round, to make sure that that bullet is in the chamber, if I were to squeeze the trigger in a rehearsal, that bullet came out. Someone has to have extraordinary access to that weaponry to do that.
Illuminati.
I can't imagine somebody walked around.
Shout out God, I mean, where you at, Edison?
See, other people on the set were speculating that it was a 45 caliber round, she'd be dead. It would have blown a big hole in her. And so we're wondering, was the projectile that went in her some foreign material stuck, and it was an accident, it was a flash round, and something came out of the barrel. They didn't check. They always check. But
to your experience with these armor...
I've never heard of anything like this in my life, ever.
Okay.
I've never heard of a projectile coming out of a prop gun that went through a person's body, regardless of being a smaller woman.
A projectile coming out of a prop
went in
gun.
here, I'm told, went in here, came out here.
Ooh, he
shoulder,
changed his story
went
a
into his
lot.
body and buried. I've never heard of that in my life. I don't know of any projectile with a gun in a flash prop gun that could accomplish that. Now, if somebody put a live round in there accidentally, see, a very important question for Hannah is,
Ooh, you going
have you ever commingled live rounds with theatrical rounds in your kit? Because they're forbidden to do that. According to, I think, the union rules and the safety rules for all the unions,
You done sacrificed the wrong motherfucker,
because of the fear of what would happen that you commingle. So, whether someone accidentally, and I can't even imagine this, deliberately placed a live round in that gun, I've never heard of that in my life. And I don't know anything about what happened, but all I know is when I... See, the other thing about this is, in a live round, you'd have a recoil, usually. When I shot that gun and it went off, I didn't shoot it when it went off. I didn't intend for it to for what happened to happen. When that happened is, I've always... I shot something about this, I've never heard of it in my life. And I don't know anything about what happened, but all I know is when I... See, the other thing about this is, in a live round, you'd have a recoil, usually. When I shot that gun and it went off, I didn't shoot it when it went off. I didn't intend for it to for what happened to happen. When that happened is, I'm always told, but because I'm not a gun person, I don't have a gun. They've always told me, they asked me to simulate the recoil. When I shoot the Colt, which is a big gun, 45 caliber bullet, they always teach me when we shoot. They go action. I go, get back here, boom, and they take my hand and go boom, and have the kick.
Oh, is that what happened?
Flash round.
Okay.
And when this happened, I don't recall there being any kick either. That's important.
Okay.
Oh, is it?
Are you, I know you said you don't own a gun, but are you experienced with shooting?
Only as much as actors have to be experienced.
What?
Okay. Which is normally not.
I mean, if you do a movie, safety with weapons is primary. You go off with people. You go off with armaments people to ranges. I've gone to ranges in Arizona where we shot
you go to ranges
many years ago, and
to not
you go to a range
actually
and you shoot for a few
okay.
hours, and they teach you how to shoot shotguns, Walther, different little small guns, James Bond guns, big guns, Uzis, machine guns, whatever you're using. They make you go and rehearse for hours.
Oh, I need an Illuminati sound.
Well, they're very safety conscious, as they have been here. They've been very safety conscious here throughout. That's what puzzles me.
Well, yeah, and I guess that's more like the question that I'm trying to get at is, do you think someone would deliberately do this?
I can't imagine who would.
Okay.
But people have said, that 6 people got fired from the crew yesterday.
No,
because they said that the union, I don't want to get into a long diatribe about this, but the union, the International Association of Theatrical Stage Employees, IATSE is their name. IATSE is the union that controls all the actors. The Directors Guild controls the director.
Yeah, they ain't trying to get murdered by you, bitch.
Stupid. Contract in which those people voted to go on strike against the major studios, the major networks, the major streaming services.
Yeah, amen to them. Shout out to them.
In fact, the IATSE rep for the New Mexico contract, because every state has different contracts, was instructed by his bosses in LA. He said, don't go on strike. The strike is against the majors, not against the
March.
Let's go to ABC
I mean, I'm not
News.
asking them to speed it up for my benefit. That's ridiculous.
8 months
But I am saying that they're going to do what they need to do. And I wanted to come to talk to you to say that I would go to any lengths to undo what happened. I would go to any lengths to undo what happened.
I think the big question, and the one you must have asked yourself 1,000 times, how could this have happened?
Well, There's two things I want to say about that. One is that when I talk about this, my concern is that I don't sound like I'm the victim. Because there is a victim. There's a woman who died. And my friend got shot. He's my friend. And she was a new friend. I met her and we worked together on some of the mapping out of what we're going to do on the film, which, you know, in the movie terms, if you go make a movie with Scorsese, you and the DP don't sit down and they solicit your ideas of how to make the film. You know what I mean?
No.
In the case of Helena, we sat down collaboratively and talked a lot about what we wanted to do in that a precious amount of time we had. But,
so y'all planned this?
I want to make sure that I don't come across like I'm the victim, because we have two victims here. And the second thing is that all of what happened on that day leading up to this event was precipitated on one idea, and that is that Helena and I had something profound in common. And that is, we both assumed the gun was empty, other than those, dummy rounds.
I want to get into more detail on the day, but let's take a step back. What was it that drew you to this project in the first place, to Rust?
I'd worked on a project with Joel before.
Joel Sousan's director.
Right. He did this movie, Crown Vic, that I produced. And Joel and I stayed in touch. We're friends, and I loved Rust. He said, I want to send you this. And I read it, and I said, I love it. I love it.
Rust, a low-budget Western, tells the story of an aging outlaw on the run with his young grandson. Baldwin, the film's star, is also one of the producers.
Very excited, very, so excited that we finally got this made, because every independent film has many false starts. You know what I mean? And when it finally goes, and you feel like a plane, and when you finally get some lift under your wings, it's very, very gratifying. I am a purely creative producer. My authorities as a producer are casting and script, which are actually married to the role of being a lead actor in a film.
So you're not the kind of producer who's looking at the line item of each budget.
No.
Who fucking cares?
There are basically two types of producers who are...
No one?
No, but he will apprise me of what he's doing. And he'll say to me, I got Helena Hutchins to be the DP. I said, how do you feel about that? Are you excited? Sorry.
Why these actors can't cry? I don't understand.
But admired by everybody who
I can make myself cry real easy. Why do you?
Rust's 21-day production began filming on October 6th at the Bonanza Creek Ranch, just outside Santa Fe, New Mexico. The ranch has long been a favorite location for filming westerns.
No tears. Is that how you cry? Yeah. I don't think I have to cry.
We need a place to lay low.
Things have a way of escalating out here in the West, with one thing leading to another.
The day that I flew there, they'd been shooting for a week already. I come
literally
the following
shooting
week on the 11th. That night of the 11th, I had dinner with Helena and Joel, and we talked about some of the compositions I was thinking of to...
That was the first time you met?
First time I met Helena, yeah.
What was your first impression?
When I met her, I knew she had that spark. I knew she had that flint to her, that she was going to get that day's work done and get the shots that she wanted. She was very focused.
Not the shot she wanted.
She was very focused. We had a discussion about compositions of shots which you were shooting, these beautiful tableaus of the West.
Words better, people.
She had that intensity. Every day you went to work, she would say, good morning, how are you? How was your evening? Boom. It was small talk, go. We weren't going to hang out and chit-chat or whatever. She knew that the clock was the enemy, and we have to move forward.
Once on set, Baldwin posts this video.
I want to say, I look at myself in the mirror, a reflection of this, and I'm really kind of appalled. It's appalling. We're here shooting a film to start tomorrow, and no, I'm not playing Santa Claus. On the 12th, I had a safety demonstration with Hannah Reed, the armor.
24-year-old Hannah Gutierrez Reed, seen here in photos by the DailyMail.com, was hired as the film's armorer, in charge of all weapons on set. The daughter of a famous Hollywood armorer, Rust was only her second film in this role. She spoke to the Voices of the West podcast about working as lead armorer for her first film before Rust.
I was really nervous about it at first, and I almost didn't take the job because I wasn't sure if I was ready, but doing it, it went really smoothly.
No, she was nervous because they wanted her to put a live round in some shit.
She was up to
she didn't want to do that shit, but she decided to do that shit.
She was tired. She was up for the job.
And nothing she did raised any red flags with
playing with me. Bitch, what?
No.
This training course you do, what did she tell you?
She say things like, remember, this is a blank round, so you have to create the discharge yourself because there's no projectile. So if you shot the gun, you go bang.
Bang.
When you roll the camera, you got to go bang.
Boom.
And have the gun snap back. You have to create that. She would give you little tips about firing. And she'd say to you, when we're done, put the gun down. When we're done, you give the gun to me or to Halls. Only those two people.
Dave Halls was Rust's assistant director, also known as the first AD. Seen here in this IMDb photo. He was responsible for keeping the production on schedule.
Sometimes we would be on a set. There was a very, very cramped set, and they wanted people in that room on an as-needed basis. If I'm holding the gun and they say cut, I then hand the gun to Halls if she's not there.
Yeah, why Halls, not Hannah? Some people have said that only the armorer should be handling
No. That's inaccurate. Meaning in the protocols of the business, meaning Hannah would to hand me the gun 99% of the time. No, whatever, the preponderance of the time. But when we would say cut, if Hannah was away from the set, I would hand Halls the gun.
Hannah, he tried to
Hannah
save
Gutierrez-Reed had a dual role on set, armorer, and she was also the assistant prop master for the film. One of the things her attorney has said is that she was hired for 2 positions on the film and therefore was stretched in an inappropriate way. Did she raise any of those concerns with you?
No, I assume that everyone who's shooting a lower budget film is stretched, myself included. And I got no complaints from her or the prop department. I'm not sitting there when I'm getting dressed and ready to go do a scene saying, oh my God, the prop woman seemed very harried today. I didn't get a sense of that from any of the people on the film. The first time I heard that there was any problem with anybody in the crew of the film was when Luber said, well, we have some issues here.
Lane Looper, the first camera assistant, would email production managers a resignation letter later that night, citing safety concerns. Quote, during the filming of gunfights on this job, things are often played very fast and loose. So far, there have been 2 accidental weapons discharges. He also wrote about concerns about reasonable rest and housing for local crew with long commutes to the set.
When he quit, now, the day before that happened, we wrapped. And he came up to me and he said, thank you for the position you've taken on behalf of IATSE and the union on social media. I said, my pleasure.
This photo, posted by Helena, showed the cast and crew in solidarity with IATSE, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, just delivered even on the verge of a strike.
When?
And ALEC posted this on Act.
And I want to say to the people in IATSE, do what you need to do. You want to go on strike? Go on strike. Because I'll tell you something about the executives. They don't give a about you. He said, because we have some issues here. I said, such as? And he said, my men need a better hotel room. There was no mention of safety issues.
He didn't say anything about the accidental discharges on set?
He didn't say anything about anything else. He goes, my men need better hotel rooms. I said, well, we're leaving, we're wrapping. Will you be here tomorrow? He said, yes. Because what I was about to do, which I've done on any number of films and TV projects, was to give more of my salary back to the production to pay for X. And I was about to say to him,
pay for X.
Let me know what it would be to B&B you guys in a house that's closer to how we can address your problem. I will be happy to contribute to that the next day they were gone.
So you didn't know?
So you didn't kill her?
Budget and safety are patently false, which is not surprising, considering his job was to be a camera operator, and he had absolutely nothing to do with or knowledge of safety protocols or budgets. Safety is always the #1 priority on our films.
When people say cutting costs, I don't say this with any judgment or any cynicism. Spielberg wants to save money. Tom Cruise wants to save money. Everybody who makes movies has a responsibility not to be reckless and careless with the money that you're given. You know, those are men who make movies that cost $205 million. And I'm making movies that cost $5 million or thereabouts.
The question, though, is were costs being cut at the expense of safety and security?
In my opinion, no, because I did not observe any safety or security issues at all in the time I was there.
Thursday, October 21st, Baldwin posts a photo of himself in costume on Instagram. Back to in person at the office. Blimey, it's exhausting. That morning, Looper and 6 other crew members walked off the set. Filming continued with a replacement camera crew. Scene 118 in the church was slated for after lunch.
Everybody there was having a positive experience. People who are watching the show, people who record, you have no idea how unique an environment a motion picture set is. It's kind of, there's an instant familiarity. The amount of care, these are people who are professionals who have really good jobs in a field they love. And I looked at all these people and I see how hard they work. They're so hardworking and they're so conscientious. And you're around people and you're part of one of the great collaborative processes in the world, movie making. Everyone moving like a watch to get everything done. And you kind of, I don't make that many movies anymore. Because movie making demanded that I travel. And I didn't want to leave my family. All these movies I made, I stayed home. I didn't want to go. If I went away for a week. To leave my family for 4 weeks and go shoot this movie, that was a big deal. And I'm sitting on this pew. And so help me God. I sat on that pew right before they called lunch. And I said, this movie has made me love making movies again. Because I used to love to make movies. I did. You know, I worked with people once. I could do the movie The Edge. They called me and said they got Tony Hopkins doing the film. What do you make of it? Yeah, if we, I started sobbing. I just started sobbing because I thought, oh God, I might have a chance to work with this guy. Any chance to go easy on me? When they cast me in It's Complicated with Meryl, I thought, I'm going to get to go make a movie with her. You know, sorry. You know, people, they
there
have
ain't
their
no
dreams.
tears still, bitch.
No matter how old you are, you have your dreams.
You're 86 and no tears.
And this movie made me love making movies again. I really thought
After
we were
you
onto
shot her,
something.
I'd be fucking dead.
Next.
She goes down. I thought to myself, did she think pretty bad? And I'm kind of wilting, and they have a gun, and then a sound outside distracts them. And I would draw the gun, cross-draw out of my holster, pull the gun up like that, and start to cock the pistol, cut. I'm handed a gun, and someone declares, they said, this is a cold gun.
Dave Halls.
The first AD. In my years on the sets of film, hot gun meant that there was a charge in there, and cold gun meant there was nothing in there. When he's saying,
why would it
this is
be
a
a
cold
hot gun any
what
day?
he's saying to everybody
Why
on the set
is
is you
there
can
hot
relax.
guns, bitch? Are y'all hello?
The gun is empty.
That's what cold gun means.
Well, cold gun means there's no charge in there. There could be dummy rounds.
A dummy round looks like a real bullet, but it's completely inert. It contains no explosive charge.
Yes,
and you
it
were
does.
rehearsing that scene. Was it an actual rehearsal? There's some disagreement about that, whether it was a formal rehearsal at that time.
This is a marking rehearsal where I'm going to show her. She's standing next to the camera. She's like this. You're me. She's got a monitor here. The camera is here filming that way. She takes a monitor that is his monitor, the operator, and turns it toward her. It swivels, and she says to me, hold the gun lower. Go to your right. Okay, right there. All right, do that. Now show it a little bit lower. And she's getting me to position the gun. Everything is in her direction. She's guiding me through how she wants me to hold the gun for this angle. And I draw the gun out, and I find a mark. I draw the gun out, I find a cock. And what's really urgent is the gun wasn't meant to be fired in that angle.
So if you're shooting directly into the camera lens, you're not aiming.
I'm not shooting into the camera lens. I'm shooting just off.
Just off.
Right, in her direction. I'm holding the gun where she told me to hold it, which ended up being aimed right in below her armpit. That was what I was told. I don't know. This was a completely incidental shot, an angle that may not have ended up in the film at all. But we kept doing this. So then I said to her, now in this scene, I'm going to cock the gun. And I said, do you want to see that? And she said, yes. So I take the gun and I start to cock the gun. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I said, do you see that? She goes, well, just cheat it down and tilt it down a little bit like that. And I cock the gun. I go, can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? And she says, and I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off.
Bitch.
I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off.
The gun shot.
That was the moment.
Myself.
That was the moment of going off.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them.
What
Never.
do you mean?
That was the training that I had. You don't point a gun at somebody and pull the trigger. On day one of
The
my
gun
instruction in this business, people said,
pop
never take a gun and go
motherfucking
click, 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 because even though it's incremental, you damage the firing pin on the gun if you do that. Don't do that.
What?
And Hall's attorney told ABC News that he was watching and agrees that ALEC did not pull the trigger and that his finger was outside the trigger guard.
Oh my God, it's a ghost. I would say a ghost gun, but bitch, it's like a full ghost.
Holding onto the hammer.
I'm holding out. I'm just showing. I go, how about that? Does that work? You see that? Do you see that? She goes, yeah, that's good. I let go of the hammer. Bang, the gun.
Got me fucked up. Got me fucked up.
Everyone is horrified. They're shocked.
Got it.
It's loud.
What?
They don't have their earplugs in. No one was. The gun was supposed to be empty. I was told I was handed an empty gun. If there were cosmetic rounds, nothing with a charge at all, a flash round, nothing. She goes down. I thought to myself, did she faint?
No.
The notion that there was a live round in that gun
Okay.
did not dawn on me till probably 45 minutes to an hour later.
What?
Minutes to an hour.
Well, she's laying there, and I go, did she get it by wadding? Was there a blank? Sometimes those blank rounds have a wadding inside that packs. It's like a cloth.
But you said it
packs the gunpowder, and sometimes wadding comes out and can hit
Can he
people. And it
please
can feel
go
like a
to
little bit of a poke. But no one could understand. Did she have a heart attack?
A heart attack.
Because remember, the idea that someone put a live bullet in the gun was not even in reality.
That's what everybody thought.
I went up to her, and then we were immediately told to get out of the building. We were forced to get out of the building. The medics came in. I mean, I stood over her for 60 seconds, and she just lay there kind of in shock.
Was she conscious?
In shock or dying?
My recollection is yes.
What?
911, what's the location of your emergency? We need an ambulance out at Bonanza Creek Ranch right now. We've got 2 people shot on a movie set accidentally. I'll connect you with
2 people.
Director Joel Souza is also wounded. His shoulder hit by the same bullet that traveled through Helena.
When she went down, he went down, and he was screaming really loudly. And I thought, but what is he screaming? What happened?
So was it loaded with a real bullet or was it? I cannot tell you that. Okay. We have 2 injuries from the movie.
She fainted, and why is he screaming? What happened?
Okay, we're getting him out there already. Just stay on the phone with me.
Within 15 minutes or 20 minutes after that, the police arrived and took the church set and put the crime tape around it, the yellow tape, and forced us all to the perimeters of the parking area where we sat and waited. She was in the church, and she was not taken out of the church for quite a while.
In the aftermath, there was chaos and confusion. But nobody told you what happened?
No. It wasn't until I was in the police station. Hours later. I mean, it was like seeing aliens. It was utter disbelief over the idea. It was unacceptable, the idea that it was a live round. And finally, one of the police officers, at the conclusion of my interview, I was there for like an hour and a half or so, she takes her phone and she slides it across to me. She says, that's what came out of Joel's shoulder. A .45 caliber slug. It was a real bullet.
Had you known that Joel had been hit?
No one had any idea until that police officer, that sheriff's officer, said to me, this is the slug, .45 caliber slug they took out of Joel's arm.
Y'all let people lie to you.
And then
just straight up lie to you like
the kind of insanity-inducing agony of thinking that someone put a live bullet in the gun.
Even though the gun shot itself, bitch. Shout out to the guns that shoot themselves. I'm very done. See ya.
What up, man? It's your boy DJ Nothing Nice, WNRDB, Orlando, Florida. You know, the palm tree lifestyle. That's how we get down. Grammy member, engineer, producer, RIAA member. You know, just entrepreneur worldwide. You know, just rocking, doing what we do right here. You know what I'm saying? With your homegirl, Gemini the Queen, on Amber Alert.
Hey, it's Riff. You rockin' with Gemini the Queen.
What's the deal? It's your boy Rodney the Boss, multi-platinum and Grammy Award-winning producer of Lil Wayne on the Carter 3, Plies, Lil Boosie, Mr. Magic, Rocco. The list just goes on, you know what I'm saying? I'm rocking with my girl, Amber Alert, on the Takeover on the AATI network.